Welcome. This time is for you to explore the emotion of belonging. If you're practicing solo or wish to experience what it's like to belong to yourself, to yourselves, I encourage you to place a mirror nearby for some eye gazing at the end. Now, please find a comfortable cross-legged seat. You're welcome to place a cushion or folded blanket under your hips for more comfort. Eyes sliding closed. Hands finding knees. Inhale your spine long with the kindest, fullest breath you've breathed all day. And exhale, allowing yourself to arrive. Shoulders melting. Connect with your beating heart. On your next breath, I invite you to begin to draw small circles from your center, gently spiraling from your heart, moving from its still center out into gradually wider and wider orbits. Take your time. Move with your breath, inhaling as you come forward, exhaling as you cycle back. Belonging begins with becoming present to yourself. I designed this yin yoga flow to help me process the feeling of belonging while creating the labyrinth, this belonging. In this pattern, walkers spiral around an 8-pointed star, possibly traveling alongside a companion before separating and then reuniting in the center of the design, where standing mirrors reflect both the seeker and the sought. This practice uses the breath to move through cycles of poses that honor heart, hips, and spine as 3 doorways to emotional release. Poses will be held for 2 to 3 minutes, and while props aren't strictly necessary, they can greatly enhance your experience. 3 of my favorite props are a bolster, pillow, or couch cushion, a strap belt or scarf, and a folded blanket. And now that your spiral has widened, opening up through ribs, heart, shoulders, giving yourself permission to take up space here, feeling into small pockets and fibers that have been shut off from your awareness, from this fullest expression of your spine. Sitting bones rooted down, connecting to your heart. Change both the cross of your legs and the direction of your spiral. Reverse your journey. Starting wide, spiraling smaller and smaller, seeking your own still center. The labyrinth, this belonging, and this practice are spaces to witness and be witnessed, to belong and be longed for, to remember that we are each both path and companion. Rooted in the emotional landscape of belonging, our oldest ache and deepest joy, today we honor the soul symmetry between individuals, the sacred geometry of connection. Whether you're practicing side by side with a beloved, to seek union with yourself, yourselves, or are encountering a stranger, the pattern holds space for this shared truth that to belong is not to fit, but to be found. Find harmony in breath-directed flow, drawing ever closer to your core, to your own truth. And as you find stillness, your hands may wish to find heart and belly, breath connecting two distinct entities that belong together, nestled into a body, an energetic field. Transition now into child's pose, coming to all fours and sinking hips back to heels. Does that blanket remain to soften your knees? How close are your heels to one another? How wide your knees? Do your hands curl alongside you, pillow your forehead, or stretch out before you? Only you know what these hips and spine and heart want. In processing the experience of belonging, my first journal entry reads, "It's hard to write about belonging when the first word that comes to mind is betrayal. From moments when I realized that others didn't want me, to moments when I realized that I wasn't being true to my authentic self. I have been betrayed by others. I have betrayed myself." Breathe. And let your next inhale touch your sacrum, the wide triangular bone at the base of your spine. Exhale and soften. Soften into the certainty that right now you are on safe ground. You belong to this safe moment, and you can come back to this pose at any point in your practice to touch home. Home is where I belong, is like finding safe ground where my roots can sink deep enough to support the greenness of my growth. Breathe and consider these words. I belong where I choose to root myself. On your next inhale, gently walk your hands back under your shoulders to rise up to all fours. Through your breath, find a slow and sinuous spinal wave with a soft gaze or closed eyes. Only you know what tempo and curves your body craves. When I belong, my growth is heralded, my triumphs celebrated. I can shine without dimming my light. When I belong, I can also get raw, unfinished, show my messy in media res. Doesn't matter what I look like. My truths, my imperfections, my contradictions, they're not just accepted, they're welcomed. My complexity is embraced. It's allowed to expand. I can put down roots. I can shine even in my own darkness. I benefit from the light of others. Others benefit by mine. I benefit from the darkness of others. Others benefit by mine. Brené Brown wrote, "True belonging is not passive. It's not the belonging that comes from just joining a group. It's a practice that requires us to be vulnerable, get uncomfortable, and learn how to be with people without sacrificing who we are." Belonging is an active practice for me. It's a symbiotic dance, a give and a take. I constantly negotiate my own boundaries. Where do I allow myself to be shaped and changed by my relationships? To gravity, to energy, to my environment? And what is my essential core? Where do I give with joy? Where do I receive with joy? Come back to a neutral tabletop and let this energy reverberate. From hips to spine to heart. And so we flow into puppy pose. Walk your hands forward, keeping shoulders stacked over knees. Who might enjoy a folded blanket cushion to melt your heart right into the ground? To reach our targeted stretch from base of palms into armpits, down torso, maybe even into hip creases. Consider sliding a bolster under your wrists to let your head hang, or letting the ground welcome the weight of your skull. consider how you may just be fitting into the pose. How can you be more yourself? What else do you want? Reach out and ask. Ask your feet, knees, palms, how far apart? Which direction? Ask shoulders, ribs, and hips about angles, expansion, growth. These are your choices. You can make them. To belong, I have to be willing to reach out first, to melt my ribs open and soften my heart, even if it means showing my ass. On your next inhale, we're going to get just a little more vulnerable and into the inner thighs. Half frog will cycle this heart energy back down to the hips. Remove any props. Come down to your forearms and slide one leg straight out behind you, the other knee bent out to the side. This pose brings belly to earth, and you may wish to bring a bolster full length from hips to either cheek before coming all the way down. You may also prefer to target this area by rising to a seated half butterfly and bending forward over one heel nestled against the other straight leg. Wherever you land, consider the effects of changing the position of your hands, the direction of your head. Explore the angles and positions of knees and feet to find an opening in the inner thigh and groin. Simone Weil believed that belonging, or rootedness, is one of our most important needs. Where do you allow yourself to simply be without needing to fit? Now, where is your body fitting the pose? And where are you long and loose, effortless and easy? With each breath, root your awareness, expand. On your next inhale, change sides and listen. Don't assume this thigh needs the exact same treatment. Ask. Consider your options. Half frog on your belly, seated butterfly, props and placements of feet and knees, hands and head. This pose reaches my own vulnerability through gravity. I crave the pull of other people, and I exert my own magnetic attraction. Belonging creates this mutual attraction. What does it feel like to belong and be longed for? On your next inhale, remove any props and slowly transition into a close-kneed child's pose for a 2-minute rebound. Ask your shoulders if they want to keep stretching out, or bring your arms alongside your body. Belonging is a safe place to land. You are doing deep and important work. Let it integrate. From a deep hip opener, let's invite flexibility into the spine with banana pose. While traditionally done on the back, in a playful spirit, I invite you to try this one on your belly. Curve both hands and feet to one side of your mat to create a gentle C curve with your whole body. Maybe stack palms, cross ankles, change the direction of your chin. Breathe into this delicious side stretch. Belonging isn't all big, weighty emotions. It's also laughter, silly as a banana can be. It's lightness, it's flow. I don't have to take myself so seriously. Maybe this is because when I belong, I can witness my broader context, react to it, flex with it, without losing my own sense of individuality. On your next inhale, transition to the other side. Ask this part of you what it needs to feel honored. When I belong, I communicate my wants and needs, and they do not place me in jeopardy. I speak my truth, even if it differentiates me, and I am welcomed for it. When I belong, I am also flexible to the wants and needs of others. They do not place me in jeopardy. They speak their truth, even if it differentiates them, and I welcome them all the more for it. Exhale fully and find your way to center. Pause here for a breath to feel the energy flowing. Our next pose, Sphinx, takes everything you've generated so far and shines it out through the gate of the heart. From your belly, bring your elbows about a forearm's width apart and directly beneath your shoulders. Inhale to lift gently through the heart. Exhale to melt your shoulders down your back. Remember your first spinal wave. It's flex and curl. Let the echo of that energy power this heart-opening back bend. Inhale to expand collarbones. Exhale to release the jaw. Inhale your three-dimensional rib cage. Exhale and soften your belly button. Don't just fit into the pose. Let yourself be found. The Aymara people of the Andes visualize time as history flowing away before us, our past at eye level, our future rising up behind our backs. And this reminds me of a Maori proverb. I walk backwards into the future with my eyes fixed upon my past. These concepts stretch out long before me in Sphinx, timeless, as I let my belly go, safe in the present. I belong exactly as I am. Breathe into your present moment, aware that the first syllable of belonging is be. to take a brief rebound. Curl down on an exhale to rest your forehead on stacked palms in crocodile. The second syllable of belonging is long. And in our next pose, we will target the quads and hip flexors to bring length along the front of the hips. Your options are cat's tail or dragon. To access cat's tail, roll onto one hip using that palm or a folded blanket or pillow to cushion your head. Inhale and reach your top hand behind you for the foot of your bottom bent leg. Loop your strap, belt, or scarf around your foot to extend your reach. Explore where your top leg and foot land to provide the most support. To access dragon, push back to all fours and step one foot forward into a lunge. A folded blanket to cushion your back knee. Hands are on either side of your foot, both on the inside, up on top of your knee, or even with one arm reaching out behind you to catch the opposite side foot with hand or strap for the most active expression of these options. Wherever you've landed, breathe length along the front of your hip. Be long. Long as in an extended distance or duration. Long as in far away in time or space. Long as in a set containing many members. Long as in tall. Release the pose and ease onto the other side. Approach this next side with curiosity. Cat's tail or dragon, strap or blanket. It's okay to look different. It's okay to look the same. Let your next expression be found. And on this side, in this present moment, breathe length along the front of your hip. Be long. Long as in far reaching, far seeing. Long as in both risky and durable, long odds, long lasting. Long as in to desire strongly, to crave, to yearn. Breathe. On your next exhale, lower gently down into crocodile pose on your belly. Bend your knees and sway your feet from side to side, rinsing any tension from the hips and low back. When I feel I belong, there's this bodily humming, a cellular buzz, warmth radiating from my core that lights me up. A tail wagging, like I've found my pack. From hips to spine, we're moving to one of my favorite poses, twisted deer. On your next exhale, push up to sitting and bring one shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. Back leg angled back. Two right angles, roughly speaking, outside of the knee touching the ground before you, inside of the knee behind you. Inhale long and twist your torso toward your bent front leg to rotate your heart over or even beyond that front knee. Now, this may be enough for you today, and you may wish to pad hips or knees or feet with your folded blanket. To go deeper, fold over onto elbows, bolster, or even the ground. Check in with the angle of your chin, the placement of your palms and heels. The angles of limbs in this pose remind me that the labyrinth, this bee longing, traces an 8-petaled pattern inspired by Tunisia's great mosque of Kairouan. Elegant, geometric work. Smaller pieces fit together, and my eyes pick out lapping and overlapping designs. One 8-pointed star fans out, touches 8 more stars, and new shapes emerge in the negative space between them. Belonging is felt in the embrace and also in the space. Take your last deep breath and ease out of this pose and into the second side. Invite your body into expression. Be found in this pose. Your opposite shin parallel to the short edge of your mat, back leg angled. Inhale long, twist. Stay here or sink gratefully down to elbows or ground, draping your body atop a bolster. Feel the echoes of all the ways you've expressed your spine this practice. Spinal wave, banana, and now this spinal twist from the hips up. Breathe and believe that you are detoxifying from stories that no longer serve. Be long and know that your every shape is welcome. On your next inhale, move slowly out of this spinal twist and back through the gateway of the heart with the gentleness of a reclined butterfly. Come to an easy sitting pose with the soles of your feet touching. Maybe you're sitting on the edge of a folded blanket as you lean back into your hands. Or maybe that blanket gets rolled up and placed perpendicular to the bottom of your shoulder blades as you come all the way down to your back. Or, for more lift, maybe that blanket is really a bolster supporting the length of spine, head supported, arms falling away, heart blossoming. How close or far apart are your heels from the rest of your body? Do your hands rest alongside you, or do they reach for belly and heart? Only you know. Inhale and feel your belly and heart rising. Exhale and soften everything down. This pose targets the inner thighs, a symmetrically flipped version of the half frog we did earlier, and the leaning back. The addition of props unfolds the chest to open the heart. Feel the resonance between hips and heart, the energy ricocheting through space that connects them. David White, in The House of Belonging, wrote, "This is the bright home in which I live. This is where I ask my friends to come. This is where I want to love all of the things it has taken me so long to learn to love." Take one final deep breath in this pose and exhale everything out. Roll gently onto one side, then come to child's pose, clearing your mat of any props to take a short rebound. Feel a full 3-part inhale. Your breath expanding pelvis and belly, then lifting the bucket handles of your ribs, and then the collarbones and armpits. Exhale, collar pits, bucket handles, pelvis. Bring a last deep 3-part inhale into your body, and on your exhale, a smile to your face. We are moving into our last cycle of poses targeting hips, spine, and heart before our final closing meditation. I'll introduce a choose your own adventure here. You can transition onto your back for figure 4 to deepen the hip work into your glutes, crossing the ankle of one leg over the opposite bent knee, and threading your arms around that bent leg to grasp back of thigh or front of shin. To add a hamstring stretch, straighten that bent leg to clasp behind it or rise all the way to sitting for half shoelace. One leg extended with the other crossed over top of it. And use gravity to fold forward. My bent limbs in this pose recall the geometry of the number 8, how it's found in nature, reaching out. Spiders and crabs and octopi have 8 appendages. 8 is the number of storytellers, of deep feelers, of an extrasensory intelligence. Belonging is the stuff of stories, the tug on heartstrings, the timeless tale that for a moment lays out a truth, tangible. Belonging is legendary. Breathe deeply and use your breath to change sides mindfully. Eight in the Tarot's major arcana can represent either strength or justice, depending on the deck's lineage. I find echoes of both in my experience with belonging. The grounded confidence of strength to meet life's challenges and bend without breaking. The cosmic balance of opposing forces in justice. An 8 tipped over into scales, into these 2 hips, into an infinity of expression. All variations on a theme. Release the pose and stretch out long on your back. Feel the energy humming and buzzing. Our last spinal pose is twisted roots. Now in twisted deer, we rotated from the hips up, and twisted roots achieves a subtly different experience by rotating from the hips down. Point and counterpoint. Bend the ball of one foot flat on the floor, crossing the other leg on top. Push the ball of your foot into the ground and shift your hips slightly over to the opposite side. This will preserve the length of your spine in the twist. Allow your knees to fall gently toward the ground as you roll to the edge of your hip. You have so many options to belong in this pose. Maybe you prefer both knees stacked on top of each other rather than crossed. Maybe it's a bolster or blanket between or under your knees. How far away are your knees from shoulders? How close your feet to your seat? Only you know. I only ask that you extend your top arm out to the side to feel the spiral from shoulder to opposite hip. Let your head find a comfortable angle. Maybe your bottom hand emphasizes this length by resting on your top knee. Breathe into this infinite spiral. Be long. Belonging multiplies perspectives, information, possibilities. The I Ching, an ancient Chinese oracle, expresses the multiplicities of life through combinations of 8 distinct trigrams, each formed by permutations of broken and unbroken lines. The data that 8 encircles explodes in this modern world. Beneath the last query you entered online swarm units called bytes, each composed of 8 binary bits. The harmony of belonging buzzes with information. Belonging awakens the bees. And maybe your next exhale finds pressed lips and a hum, a buzz, a resonance through the core of you. On your next inhale, move sweetly out of this pose and onto your back, where your energy rebounds through your being. Prepare for the second side by placing your foot on the floor, crossing your other free leg on top, pushing in to ball of foot, shifting hips to the other side, and falling smoothly over onto your hip's edge. Let your attention roam your body as if you were checking the boundaries of a well-made container. It's okay if this one is different than the last. Do your knees remain crossed or stacked? How far are knees from shoulders? Feet from seat? Open out through your chest by extending your top arm out to the side, perhaps with your bottom hand coming to rest on your knees. Feel the repetition of cycles targeting hips, spine, and heart like a melodic chord. Find a 3-part harmony in your next breath. Be long. In a 7-tone scale, the basis for Western music, the 8th note completes the octave. At twice the pitch of the first note, 8 signals the transition to a new level. Follow your next inhale into the root of your being. Press your lips together and let out your exhale as a hum. Feel the vibrations of the buzz course through your being. Inhale and try again. Play with different pitches and slides on your exhale. Invite the energy of the 8 and hum an octave. Find a curve to the corners of your lips. Unravel and come to laying flat on your back in Savasana. This belonging practice, allow its energy to integrate. Feel its frequencies. Take one last deep breath here and begin to find movement in fingers and toes. Bring your arms overhead and stretch and reach. Point and flex. Be and long. Roll onto one side and rise to an easy seated pose. Inhale into the root of your being, fingers stretching out, palms rising up your spine to blossom at your heart, fingertips reaching long. Exhale, hands to heart, feeling the warmth. Maybe you don't belong to anything. Maybe you belong with. Find a mirror. Sit knee to knee. Gaze eye to eye. Be with yourself. How are you feeling? Be honest. Let your eyes and your eyes alone communicate this feeling. Now, using only your eyes, communicate that you see the person before you. You witness their feelings, their complexity, that it's okay, that they're okay. To belong is to be, and to be longing for connection. It is also to be long, the tallest, gangliest, awkwardest, tallest, biggest, brightest bloom you can dream of becoming, that you can be. And it's not good or bad, it's okay. It's marvelous even, because your complexity, your chord adds a harmony to the melody. Your voice is longed for. And so I invite you to take a 3-part inhale and exhale out a big hum. And Maintaining eye contact, wrap your arms around your own shoulders and give yourself the biggest hug. Let your shoulders snuggle into your hands, knowing that to belong is not to fit, but be found. It is an active practice, a tipped over 8 infinity of moments of embracing your complexity, of all the shapes you want to make. Gaze warmly into the eyes before you. Eyes like two mirrored routes, 2 points that come together, that separate, that reconnect. 2 points shortened by the frequency of the wave between us, buzzing with the sacred geometry of us. Reach out and clasp a hand, yours, another's. Let the story of this moment become legendary and repeat these words. I belong and am longed for. Now repeat, you belong and are longed for. Thank you for joining me today. I see your light. I honor you. Be here. Be you. Belong.